Happy New Year, and welcome to our program on the Laguna Woods Film Club. My name is Susan Hecht, and some of you may know me because I work through the Saddleback College Emeritus Program. Others of you may have seen me at the Film Club, where I started in 2013. I used to introduce the films that we saw once a month in the big auditorium in Clubhouse 3. After the film, I led a discussion and a question-answer session. In our program today, I will talk first a little bit about the Film Club and what makes it up. And even though our Film Club is now on hiatus, our board is really busy planning for the future. After that, I'll give a summary of 3 films. 2 we have previously shown, and 1 we plan to show in the future that we hope you'll join us to see. Our film club originated in 1986, which means that it has been meeting for 34 and a half years. Next year will be our 35th year, and we really hope to celebrate when the lockdown ends. The club was started to have a place where members could share quality movies and talk about them with each other. So this is our mission statement. The purpose is to have a film series to bring art and classic foreign and independent films to Laguna Woods Village. Each monthly film is introduced and followed by a discussion led by an expert on film, which is me. The Film Club is made up of our incredibly enthusiastic and passionate film club board. And then, of course, we have our membership. Our voluntary board spends hours choosing the films. They really are dedicated. They also handle registration and marketing. Our membership is made up of people like you who love films. Both the board and our president for last year, Diane Bauman, have kept you informed of our club via the Globe newspaper and through TV6. Diane has now stepped down. From now until the hiatus, our new president is Jeff Weisberg, and he is taking that over. I want to tell you a little bit about the type of movie that we have. We're really interested in quality films where the characters grapple with moral and societal issues. We show indie or foreign films. Sometimes they don't have a very large budget, but they always have a really big heart. We show films that give insights into different cultures. As I mentioned, right now, our film club is on hiatus. There's no way that we can meet, but we hold the vision that we will once again be able to come together once a month to see and to talk about great films. We can't wait to greet you at the Laguna Woods Performing Arts Center in Clubhouse 3. If you would like more information, our website is still available. Just go to the Laguna Woods Village website for Laguna Woods Village clubs and navigate to the Film Club. And there we are. In the next part of our program, I'm going to introduce films that actually are now available on Amazon Prime to either watch for the first time or maybe rewatch. One of the things that I really love about the films we show is that they're even better the second or third time that you've watched them. I chose these 3 films today because they illustrate the theme of people overcoming difficulties. And for most of us, 2020 was a really difficult, challenging year. And is that an understatement or what? During this time of disease and social distancing, It is so heartening to watch films where the characters work with their challenges and come to new understandings. The first film I'm going to talk about is called Children of Heaven. It's an Iranian drama filmed in 1997. And the film club watched it during our 2018-2019 season. The film opens with Ali. He's a little boy and he's entrusted with several errands. His mother's not feeling well and he has to get these done. One of those errands was to pick up his sister's shoes that were being repaired. Along the way, his sister's shoes are lost. Now, Ali's family is very poor. There's no way they can just buy a new pair of shoes. What is he going to do? What will his sister do? She can't go to school without shoes. And how can they keep this a secret from their parents who have troubles of their own? One of the advertising lines says, "A little secret, their biggest adventure." Here are some fun facts about this film. It was the first Iranian film to receive an Oscar nomination. It lost out to the Italian film Life is Beautiful. It also received 10 other film festival rewards, even though this film was shot on a very low budget. They only paid $180,000 to shoot that film. And in the film world, that is nothing. One of the things I'd like to point out, I hope you do get to see this film because the camera work is so beautiful. The director and the writer of this film, Majid Majidi, really wanted to get a realistic look. So we have these beautiful scenes of the village. And for example, there's a close-up of the shoemaker who's repairing shoes. Just really wonderfully done. The two major actors, the children, the siblings in the film are just wonderful. If you do get a chance to watch this film, I have a couple of questions for you. One of the things I really like to watch for in films is the symbolism. And I think the shoes in this film stand for not just shoes, but something even more in that. The other thing that comes into this film and means more than what it is the use of water. And we have this beautiful scene with bubbles that I'd like you to watch for. And secondly, we have one critic who says this is a magical motion picture. And then we had a critic who said it's a down-to-earth movie. So as you watch it, how can this film portray both qualities? Being on the one hand really magical and being on the other hand down to earth. And I think this film puts both together really beautifully.
His sister has always depended on him. His parents have always trusted him. But something has just gone terribly wrong. Now, to reclaim his sister's most prized possession, he'll have to travel throughout the entire city on a one-in-a-million adventure. Miramax Films invites you to a magical motion picture in the tradition of Kolya, My Life as a Dog, and Cinema Paradiso.
The second film I'd like to recommend today is called Freedom Writers. Writers with a W. And this film is based on a true story that took place not very far from here, just right up the coast in Long Beach. We watched it during our 2016-2017 season. It took a long time to put together, 6 years and 25 drafts of the script. I mean, what patience, really. This film is based on a best-selling book called The Freedom Writer's Diary: How a Teacher and 150 Teens Used Writing to Change Themselves and the World Around Them. It was sold, I'm sorry, but I always just am amazed at this. It sold over 250,000 copies. And this gave the real teacher and the real students the opportunity to create the Freedom Writers Foundation. And they give presentations and give out scholarships. The plot of this story takes place in 1994. We have a first-year teacher, Erin Grunwald, and she's starting to teach English at Woodrow Wilson High School, Long Beach, California. She's been warned that her students are what we call at-risk students, students who are involved in gangs, students who are involved in drugs, students who haven't had the educational background or the parental encouragement of other students. But like many of us who come out of school, she's young, she's idealistic, and she's very naive. One of the things about Erin Grunwald, though, is she's a quick learner. And you will find in this movie how she and her students form a bond that is really unbreakable. This won the 207 Humanities Prize and also the Image Award from the NAACP. We have a wonderful director, and also he adapted the screenplay from the book, Richard Laguna. You may not have heard his name, but he was the one behind the screenplay of many wonderful films. He had an Oscar nomination for The Fisher King. He also directed Unbroken and British Bridges of Madison County. One of the reasons it took them so long to put this film together is that Erin and her students insisted that it stay as close to reality as possible. So there's so much in this film that you see that is real. Erin did work 2 jobs. She did all of the assignments in the class that you see. And she even wore those same clothes. She said it was really surprising when the costume department raided her closets. The dialogue of the film actually uses the diaries of the real students. If you watch it, and again, it's on Amazon Prime, wait till the end credits, because then you have pictures of the real Erin and the Freedom Writers. We have a fabulous cast in this movie. Hilary Swank plays Erin Grunwald. She was their first choice. She was the students' first choice. And they had found out that she had been very poor in her lifetime, and she had actually lived in her car. And so she really understood a lot about the kids. We have Imelda Stanton, who plays one of Erin's colleagues at the school. And we have Pat Carroll, who plays Maeve Geese, who was the woman who helped Anne Frank. And she comes to talk to the students, which she did in real life. And the Holocaust plays a strong part in this movie. And all of that is based on reality. So if you watch this film, again, I have a couple questions to look for. Which one of the kids' stories affected you the most? And what are the lessons in this movie? What did Erin learn as a teacher? What did the students learn? And what do we learn from their stories? And then for those of you who like symbols like I do, what do Erin's pearls symbolize? She wears a strand of pearls every day, regardless of the rather ramshackle environment that she's teaching in.
In Long Beach, it all comes down to what you look like. It's all about color. If you're Latino or Asian or Black, you could get blasted anytime you walk out your door.
My name is Erin Gruel.
Schools are divided into separate tribes.
I'm not sitting near him.
I can't go back there alone.
Man, I know you ain't talking to me.
We kill each other over race, pride, and respect. We fight for our America.
So what you're saying is, if the Latinos weren't here, or the Cambodians, or the Blacks, or the Whites, or whoever they are, if they weren't here, everything would be better for you.
Lady, stop acting like you're trying to understand our situation.
Why don't you explain it to me?
We in a war.
You're a first-time teacher. You can't make someone want an education. Listen to me, all of you.
Stand on the line if you've lost a friend to gang violence. Stay on the line if you've lost more than one friend. 3, 4 or more.
From this moment on, the person you were, that person's turn is over.
One day, I got a dream. One day, we gonna work it out.
Everyone has their own story. We're gonna write in these journals.
There's no place like this out there for us. I can't go back to the way it used to be.
Need you. Nah, man, I can't.
Nobody listens to a teenager, and they don't see the wars we fight every day.
Sat there till the police
I don't
came.
even know how this
Then I heard gunshots.
She told us we had something to say to people.
Our last film that I'm going to review today is one of the films that the board is considering for our return. And it's a Swedish film of 2016. It's called A Man Called Ove. And it is also based on a book. But in this case, it is a best-selling novel of the same name by Fredrik Backman. The director, who also wrote the script, Hans Holm, said he was really nervous to adapt this book because it had been such a bestseller, and yet he needed to make it his own as well. Here's the plot. We have 59-year-old Ove, and he is the neighborhood's grumpy old man. He's a recent widower, and he's turned all of his focus into keeping watch over his neighbors to make sure that they follow the rules of the neighborhood. Needless to say, not everybody is thrilled about his new occupation. But this is a movie, so things cannot remain the same. Strangers move in across the street. One critic said, "This is a film about unexpected friendship, love, and the importance of surrounding yourself with the proper tools, T-O-O-L-S, and you'll understand what that means if you take a look at the film. In this film, we have a lot of use of flashbacks, and they're so important because we understand that Ove hasn't always been this way, that he's loved, he has loved, yes, and he's lived a much fuller life than we can imagine at the present. He's lived a life that has been full of love and also tragedy, like all of us. This won the 216 Oscar nomination for foreign film, for makeup and hair. The actor who plays Ove is Rolf Losgaard, and he actually was 59 when he did the part. And that doesn't always happen when we get that combination of the actor and the character being the same age. His neighbor who's moved in, whose name in the movie is Parvana, her real name is Babar Pars. And in the movie, she is Iranian, and so is our actress. She moved to Sweden at 10 years old, so she understands the immigrant experience. And she said for her, one of the most important aspects was to represent that Iranian immigration community without being a stereotype. I think she does a fabulous job. And for the cat lovers, such as myself, we have a cat in the movie, but actually they used two cats. One cat who was very curious, who did a lot of the moving parts. And then we had another cat who just loved to be carried around. And he never moved, and you could do anything and he just would be carried. So I have one question for you if you have the ability to see this film or would like to wait for when we show it. And that is, when does grumpy old Ove smile for the first time?
Ove! Idiot! Hunden ska sluta pinka på våra plattor.
Lyssna inte på den elaka gubben, prins.
Ser mer ut som en vinterkänga med ögon.
Vi har fått så kallt inomhus, kan inte du titta på det?
Ta en fil till. Nej, hallå! Nej! Finns det ingen som kan någonting längre? Tänker nämligen försvinna härifrån, ja. För alltid. Det är inte så lätt att ta livet av sig som man tror. Jag har flyttat in ett par nya grannar där mitt emot.
Vi tänkte kanske bara att du är lite hungrig.
Nej, jag är inte hungrig. Det är ingen ordning när du inte är hemma.
Skulle det inte kännas skönt att gå vidare?
Jag sa att du skulle sluta prata.
Ingen klarar sig själv. Inte ens du.
Saknar dig.
Vill du gifta dig med mig?
Ja, det vill jag!
Jag vill att du ska veta hur allting hänger ihop. Precis allting.
Antingen dör vi, eller så lever vi.
Well, that ends our program for today. I hope you enjoy these films, and I wish you many happy viewing hours. I really look forward to welcoming you to the film club when we can get back to our regular showings. We all hope it's soon. Stay safe, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.